Today we're going to be talking about FAMU, head coach Willie Simmons, and FAMU. Don't sleep on the Rattlers on the recruiting trail. We're going to talk about that and more after the bumper. What's good people? Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and the notification bell because we upload every single day. Now, the Rattlers of FAMU picked up another commitment, this time from a former four-star defensive back who was once a Power 5 player at Texas A&M, and a young man by the name of Jordan Moore. He was a four-star coming out of high school. He played for Texas A&M. I think he went to Houston as well, and now he was at the JUCO level. Now he's at FAMU, are going to be a part of the FAMU football team in the fall of 2022. And everybody's got a lot of hype, and rightfully so, for Jackson State, not only for what their product on the field in 2022 will be, but also for this class of 2022 recruiting class. Because, guys, remember, I've been telling you from the jump, the fact that Jackson State was able to get a top 55 nationally ranked recruiting class for a school and a team that really was in rebuilding mode, I always had confidence that their class of 2022 was going to be better than the class of 2021. I said that months ago. I said the foundation has already been laid. The recruits can actually see what's taking place at the school. They've already had, success. So the 2022 recruits are going to be big. And I knew that, but I didn't think they were going to get Travis Hunter, the #1 player in the country. That's a different story for a different topic. I've covered that several times. But there was another school that's new to the SWAC that is also doing the damn thing on the recruiting trail, and that is the Florida A&M Rattlers. That's right, FAMU and the Marching 100, because you can't sleep on the Marching 100, are doing the damn thing on the recruiting trail. And getting this latest recruit in Jordan Moore is big, but I'm going to show you guys some other things that FAMU is doing that is also big. So be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you're new to this channel, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss channel. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Jeff Lightsy Jr. I post content like this all the time. So first, we're going to take a look at Mr. Jordan Moore. This is the newest and latest recruit coming to FAMU. Now, Jordan Moore, like I said, he's a safety. This was his 247 profile out of high school. So this is a few years ago. This is back in 2018. He was 5'11", 192. He's probably upwards of 200 pounds. He was a 225th recruit nationally. He had offers from a bunch of different places, but decided to go to Texas A&M. Had offers from Bama, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, etc., etc. He bounced around a little bit, ended up at a JUCO, and now he is going to FAMU. He ended up, what was his JUCO called? Let's see, if Kilgore Junior College in Yoakum, Texas. So this is him now. He's 5'11", 210. He had some offers from a couple of different places, and it's ironic because he had these offers, but FAMU offered him on Sunday, and the young man committed to the Rattlers on Monday. That is how fast Coach Willie Simmons is working. I'm going to show you his commitment picture just so you can get how he tagged Coach Willie Simmons, and this is how fast the Rattlers are working. They're working to build themselves. Everybody's talking about the juggernaut that Jackson State is creating and building, but the Rattlers are building their own juggernaut, or their hopes to be a juggernaut in the SWAC. And there's good reason to believe that FAMU can be just as good, if not better, than Jackson State during the 2022 season. Like that is not me just creating something that isn't true. That's not just me, hopeful wishing. That is me, and I can use evidence and prove and use facts to tell you that FAMU has a really, really, really good chance of winning not only the SWAC East, but winning the SWAC and going on and playing in the Celebration Bowl themselves as a member of the SWAC over Jackson State. And it's all going to be dependent on the September 4th matchup between FAMU and Jackson State, but we'll talk about that more later. But let me show you guys FAMU's record from last year. So FAMU had a really, people forget, FAMU had a really, really good football team last season. They went 9-3 on the year, a 7-1 conference record. So think about that. FAMU is one 1-point loss away. The very, first game of the season, September 5th, on a Sunday against Jackson State in the Orange Blossom Classic. They're one loss away from playing in the Celebration Bowl themselves. Jackson State would have been the one on the road in the FCS playoffs, and FAMU would have been in the Celebration Bowl. Because they didn't lose, as you can see at conference record, they didn't lose another conference game the rest of the year. And they went 9-3. The one loss was to Jackson State. One loss was in the FCS playoffs, and their other loss was to another FBS team, to South Florida. That was their only other loss. That's all 3 losses. But when it came to SWAC competition, they were just as, if not more dominant than Jackson State. When it came to HBCU competition, they were just as, if not more dominant than Jackson State, including a win over South Carolina State, the same team Jackson State lost to in the Celebration Bowl. Not lost to, but got their asses handed to them in the Celebration Bowl. FAMU slaughtered them. They did. FAMU, look at the South Carolina State game, 30-7. It was in Tallahassee, but they slaughtered South Carolina State. Now, South Carolina State fans have told me in my comments, they've said that, hey, they had guys hurt. I think they said they had 7 guys out for that game, and that could be very true. But at the end of the day, on the field, FAMU won that game. So, I mean, hey, you can argue with everybody else. You can't argue with the results. South Carolina State also lost to Alabama A&M, who FAMU also beat. Now, don't get me wrong. FAMU had some close games. It was a 3-point win over Valley, 4-point win over Alabama A&M. They had some dominant wins. A big-time win over Alabama State. Fort Valley State, huge win. Let's look at this schedule. A huge win over Grambling. Convincing win over Southern. Convincing win over Pine Bluff. And the Florida Blue, Florida Classic. They got a convincing win over Bethune-Cookman. Now, of course, they went to Southeastern Louisiana in the FCS playoffs, and got chopped up a little bit. But this schedule, if we're looking at FAMU as a team, and we're looking at this potential schedule for the fall of 2022, the Rattlers are going to be a problem. Like, everybody just wants to hand the SWAC title over to Jackson State. No. The Rattlers are going to be a problem. Head Coach Willie Simmons is building a juggernaut in Tallahassee. He is getting ball players, and just like Jackson State is making noise on the recruiting trail, so are the FAMU Rattlers. So are the Rattlers. So much so, they're in on big-time recruits as well. Now, they don't have a Travis Hunter in their class, but they could possibly have a Christian Miller. Now, Christian Miller, look at that top 5. February 2nd, Christian Miller, who was a 4-star defensive end. He's a top 247. He was a Adidas All-American. Army All-American is what it used to be called. Now it's just the Army All-American, All-American game, Adidas All-American, whatever. He's got a top 5. Ohio State Buckeyes, Georgia, Oregon Ducks, Miami Hurricanes, and what's that? That says Rattler Nation. This young man is going to be choosing between Ohio State, Georgia, Oregon, Miami, and FAMU. FAMU. This man is a 4-star recruit, defensive lineman. This is where the SWAC has to catch up. I've told you guys on a number of broadcasts, there are a few positions, a few areas on the football field that if the SWAC wants to be competitive, let's not get ahead of ourselves and say be competitive with like an SEC program or something like that, but even be better than some of the top FCS programs. They have to upgrade the quarterback position. There's too many quarterbacks in the SWAC that are run first as opposed to pass first. Not passers who can run, but runners who can just pass a little bit. They need to upgrade the quarterback position. They have to upgrade the trenches. You've heard Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, who's played at the highest level, both at college and in the NFL, Super Bowls won, said that his number one concern for Jackson State was improving his quarterback and improving the trenches. Not just the first level of trenches, but even the depth in the trenches, both offensive and defensive lines. Christian Miller is a guy that can do that for FAMU. Christian Miller, 4-star, out of Ellenwood, Georgia, Cedar Grove High School, is choosing between the Buckeyes, Georgia Bulldogs, Oregon Ducks, Miami Hurricanes, and the FAMU Rattlers. Guys, this is happening. This is happening right before our eyes, and we cannot sleep on the Rattlers. Yes, Coach Prime, Deion Sanders is the pioneer to a lot of this. He is the pioneer. I'm not gonna. We can't fake the funk. Even you can hate Jackson State all you want. He's the pioneer. But don't sleep on FAMU. Deion Sanders has made it clear and evident that he wouldn't consider leaving Jackson State until he becomes dominant at the SWAC level. Well, Hugh Jackson just got hired at Grambling, and he's making waves, especially with the Cali connection. He's got a big-time Cali connection because he's from L.A. He coached at USC. He coached the Raiders, which is in Oakland. He's got huge connections out there in California. He's got a couple of commits recently that are from the South Central L.A. area. He's doing it big out in California. If you can start getting a West Coast connection to SWAC, woo, now that's a far trip now. Don't get me wrong. Ain't no HBCUs in California, and that's a far trip to go from L.A. to Louisiana. Ain't just a bus ride or a little, Uber or nothing. You got to get on a plane to make that trip. But that would be huge for Grambling. And Willie Simmons is proving that he can recruit too. Because let's be honest, guys. Let's keep it a bean. Can we keep it 100? Can we keep it a bean? Recruiting is the lifeline of college football. You can have the best coach in the world, whether it's Nick Saban, whether it's Coach Prime, Willie Simmons, Eddie Robinson, whoever. It don't matter who your coach is. You have the greatest coaches in the world. If you don't have the players, it doesn't matter. If you don't have the players, it does not matter. That's why Eddie Robinson is so beloved and so, highly regarded as the greatest, football coach in the history of HBCUs and one of the greatest football coaches, period. But he sent a lot of dudes to the NFL. That means he had a lot of talent. Coach Buddy Pugh down there at South Carolina State. They've won a whole lot of games in his 20 years. It's because he's had a lot of talent. Darius Leonard, Jacoby Durant, et cetera, et cetera. Guys that go to the NFL. Jackson State was as successful as they were this year because they had a lot of talent. James Houston, Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, et cetera, et cetera. Malachi Weidman, who's going to play on their basketball team, by the way, which is insane. They have a lot of talent. Head Coach Willie Simmons at FAMU is accumulating talent, and that's going to do nothing but bolster their program. Hugh Jackson is accumulating talent at Grambling. It's going to do nothing but bolster their program. And that's going to make the SWAC some of the best football of any conference in the country. The SWAC is going to be a great conference this season in the fall of 22, and I cannot wait to see it. But Willie Simmons and the FAMU Rattlers, do not sleep on FAMU. They didn't go 9-3 by accident. This team did not go 9-3 by accident. They're bringing their quarterback back. They're losing some guys. They're losing their top tackler. They're losing some guys, some valuable pieces. But they got some guys coming in, and potentially even better guys coming in by February. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Black Boss channel and Victory Formation. This is my YouTube channel, Jeff Lightsy Jr. You can subscribe right there. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsy7. I post content on there as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out, and I will see you next time. Peace.